Still got it.
Whoa. Whoa. What the? Oh. Hey guys, Doctor Who here, the Esports Medicine and Performance Specialist. This is an in-depth review of the Respawn Specter gaming chair. And in this review, we're going to be going over everything about the chair, from the build quality to the general experience, then getting into the specifics like the seat comfort, back support, and adjustability. And of course, we'll talk about affordability. I think it's also important for us who finally decide to invest in a chair that it's durable, so there's going to be a second part. And it's going to be after 3 months and 6 months. And finally, I'll talk about individualizing the setup. How do we fit it specifically to you? So let's get into all of this. So the Respawn Specter is pretty affordable. Comes in at $300, has a pretty clear finish and design, and great build quality with plastics for a majority of the components that allow it to be a little lighter compared to most chairs. And this is the first chair that I've had with a 3-piece design, so I really like that separation of the lumbar and upper backrest. And specifically for me, 150 pounds, 5'7", medium size, this works well. I do think adjustability of the lumbar support, whether it be the curvature or the amount of actual tension, can increase the amount of people that it might fit for. And I'll speak a little further about that in the back support section. Otherwise, I've been really enjoying the mesh fit. It's been pretty hot in LA, so it's been helpful with distribution of heat. With regards to the seat pressure, I think it's not as effective as its polyurethane counterparts, the PU leather counterparts, affecting the overall seat comfortability. And this actually might affect long-term comfort with the chair, but can also act as a reminder to get up and stretch. So, pros and cons. The mesh material and finish of the chair allow it to be pretty resistant to spills and abrasions. I do think that the option to choose between gray and black is pretty nice. It was pretty easy to set up. You have the choice to build it with the armrest or without, and I'll get into why that's important later on. It doesn't seem like there's any warranty. There is a load capacity of 275 pounds, and considering sort of the general picture of aesthetics, build quality, I would say that this ranks in at around the A tier. Okay, let's get into the discussion of the seat comfort. The size of the chair is 19.7 by 23.2 inches, and the depth is 23.2. Seat comfort is often dictated by your own body type and your individual measurements. So for me, 150 pounds, 5'7", Asian male, big ol' booty. Generally, this will fit pretty well with medium-sized individuals, with the select few in the small and large category. With regards to overall firmness of the mesh material, it's probably rated as a medium. The mesh type seat has an okay pressure distribution, with more side to side than front to back, and this, as I mentioned earlier, can lead to issues with a long-term comfort. I haven't noticed anything with 2 full weeks of use, although I did notice during some days with 10 to 12 hours of computer and gaming, I did have some increased pressure and uncomfortability at my thigh. I was able to eliminate this in some of the following days by just getting up to move more. So taking more breaks. It was actually a pretty great reminder. There's also an added cushion in the front. There's that waterfall edge to increase comfortability behind the thigh and also near the knee. The overall curvature of the seat lends itself to proper lower back and pelvis positioning with a medium and larger size individual. The torso will come into contact with the backrest, allowing that more neutral position. But the curvature of the back part of the seat can often be a little too steep for someone that's smaller, with a smaller torso, that's someone that's more petite, that will push them into this more posteriorly pelvic tilted position. So what's nice about this chair is that there is a lever that allows you to shift the chair forward and back to accommodate for larger individuals. And then, as I mentioned before, this seat depth fits well to me. And 1HP actually has a recommended range that you can calculate on your own by sitting in an upright position, measuring from your butt to the back of your butt to the front of your knee, and then taking that number, which for me is 23, subtracting that by 6, and using that as a range. So 17 to 23 inches is my acceptable seat depth range. So 17 to 23 inches is the range that will work for me. That's what I'm looking for when I see seat depth. And while this chair is slightly over the range with 23.2 inches, there is a curvature at the front, that waterfall edge, that allows the seat to clear the knee, only coming in contact with the thigh, which is what we want. So with the firmness, the seat depth, the pressure distribution, the curvature of the seat, all of that in mind, I would rate this at an A tier for medium-sized individuals, B to A tier for small to large because of the front to back pressure distribution, as well as the backside curvature that might push you into a posterior pelvic tilt. And then if you're Kim Kardashian, this is a C tier for you because it's too big, too big. Okay, let's talk about the back support. The 3-piece chair system is quite nice and has been really great actually with 2 weeks of use. The back support has this separate lumbar component which is not adjustable, but it has some give to account for the different sizes of individuals. If it had the ability to alter the tension or the curvature of that lumbar support, it'd be beneficial because then it could fit for more individuals outside of just people that are medium sized. With the natural lumbar support, the recline position actually feels pretty amazing. Again, for me, I'm medium sized. There is a lever to lock that reclining function of the backrest, along with tension control to modify how quickly that chair reclines. The back support can recline past 0 degrees. Some chairs allow this due to upper back contact with the individual. With the lumbar support at the set height, the upper backrest might actually not contact some individuals of certain sizes unless they recline completely. So the position of the lumbar support favors medium to small size individuals. Why? Because it's set at a certain height, the peak of the curvature of the lumbar support relative to where the position of the seat is. And because we can't modify where the lumbar support is, it will only be beneficial for specific sizes of individuals, medium to small. With larger size individuals, it will actually put pressure on the lower pelvis, and that'll push you into a more posteriorly pelvic tilted position. Overall, the lumbar support and the upper portion of the backrest have medium firmness with that mesh material with a wide base neck support. I really love that. The majority of cervical pillows and supports with gaming chair often push your head forward, and that creates that forward head. But this actually allows users of all sizes to really maintain that neutral positioning, and you can move it up, move it down, tilt it. It's pretty great. Considering the firmness, the lumbar support, the reclining function, I'd rate this at an A to S tier for medium-sized individuals, A for smaller individuals, and then B for larger individuals. Alright, moving on to the armrest. The Respawn Specter has an arm height range of 25.8 to 29.8 inches. The armrests have that pretty standard 3 function: forward, back, up, down, in, out, and that allows for some freedom of space. The height range is often important for us to know because it can come into contact with the desk that you utilize, and I'll get into some specifics at the end of the video to make sure this will fit well for you. Upon assembling this chair, you have the choice of including the armrest or not during the full build. And this is nice because you can opt out of using the armrest if you tend to rest your forearms on the table, like myself. If you have a big table with a lot of space, it's nice. Otherwise, pretty straightforward. This is S tier because it has good cushion, medium hard firmness, and then a lot of adjustability. You can go everywhere with this armrest. Alright, now we got to talk about ergonomic adjustability. Does it allow for us to make modifications so we can sit in optimal sitting positions? Yes, it has seat height adjustment, tilt lock, the 3D armrest, seat sliding mechanism. and you can opt in to build yourself and make the decision of building without armrests. So let's do a bottom up breakdown. Feet support. The height can be adjusted for various heights to ensure your feet are supported. If you're shorter and you have a taller table, I would recommend you use a footrest. The hips, the firmness and curvature of the seat make it easy to find the position that only allow the thighs to be in contact with the chair. Also having it parallel to the ground, and this covers the majority of individuals. Again, you want to use that individualized measurement to make sure the seat works well for you. The pelvis and lower back, the lumbar support and curvature of the seat allow for the pelvis and low back to assume a neutral position, especially for medium-sized individuals. And of course, how you sit is important to note here. Smaller and larger individuals might have different contact points of the lumbar support, and that might create mild forces pushing the lower back into a posteriorly pelvic tilted position. The upper back and neck, as I mentioned, is pretty great. You can lean back to utilize the upper back rest. The neck rest is amazing, allowing us to maintain that neutral position pretty easily, although monitor and keyboard position are really important to consider there as well. And considering all of this, I would give it an A+ tier rating for ergonomic adjustability. The only potential change here would be the ability to easily remove the armrest or modifying the lumbar support height or the curvature. Okay, so where does it stand in terms of affordability? At $299.99, $300, this chair comes in at below a majority of the gaming chairs in the market and is one of the few mesh branded chairs out there. Majority of gaming chairs run between $350 to $450, whether it be Vertigear, Secretlab, Maxnomic. And I would actually 100% of the time choose this chair compared to others in this price tier. The most notable maybe DX Racer or other branded drop shipping versions of this chair. I wouldn't really compare this to the luxury class of gaming chairs, your Herman Miller, Aeron, Embody, the steel case chairs, which have additional features but might only be marginally better for your long-term health. There's always a minimum of things that you need for adjustability that allow you to have great health outcomes, and please refer to my Herman Miller reaction video so you can better understand what I mean. We always have to consider that bigger picture so we can make the best decision about how to spend our money. I think the Specter is a pretty good bang for your buck, which can offer you the same outcomes when comparing to a lot of the chairs in the same price range. Again, we have to always consider you, the individual buying the chair, which leads me to my next section. How can you know if this chair will fit you well? Okay, so how do you know if this chair will fit well for you? First, we have to consider your individual measurements. As I mentioned with the chair seat, you want to use that 1 HP accepted range. Back of the butt to the front of the knee, -6. That range is the seat depth in there. And then, number 2, we want to check, are you small, are you medium or large? And use this general scale. If you're shorter than 5'5", then you're small. If you're between 5'6" to 5'10", you're medium. If you're more than 5'10", you're large. And also with less than 200 pounds for small, less than 275 for medium, and then between 220 and 350 for large. With everything considered, I think that this is best. This chair, Respawn Specter, is best for medium-sized individuals with some room for larger individuals. Petite will have some trouble because of the back of the seat curvature. And if you happen to be outside of the range, check our article Seat Yourself for other potential options that might work well for you, because one chair does not fit all. Okay, next up, let's review what type of desk will fit well with the Respawn Specter, as well as consider your individual preferences with sitting. If you like large desks and you want to rest your forearms on the table, then the Respawn Specter works pretty well. I would even recommend taking off the armrest or not building it with armrests if the table is quite thick, if there's a drawer and the armrest might come into contact with it. Second, if you have a standard desk height of 30 inches and the thickness is between 1/2 to 2 inches thick, I think it also fits really well there. The height adjustability with both the chair and the armrest will allow it to clear, so allowing you to really fit ergonomically well to the desk. And overall, I think there's very few desks this chair wouldn't work well in. Modifications can always be made with the adjustability to fit you to the desk. So considering all of this in the 2 weeks that I've had this chair, I can confidently say that this chair gets the 1HP seal of approval. Boom! And just remember that one chair does not fit all. This is better and more optimized for medium-sized individuals with some room for small and larger individuals. It is a verified A-tier chair, and that considers the build quality, aesthetics, the fit for different users, the seat comfort, back comfort, the arm comfort, as well as the ergonomic adjustability. So alright guys, that is all. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions relating to anything that I said in the video, please let me know in the comments. If you have any other chairs you want me to review, leave that in the comments as well. And I do have to say, Respawn Specter did send me this chair, so hashtag ad, but I was very objective with every aspect of the review. And I will always do so with any single product that I review because I care about you guys. Again, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more quality content like this.